Good morning, viewers, and welcome to another Onside SA Soccer Show. Paul is away at the sales in Cape Town, so joining me is our regular super sub and Manning Rangers League winner, Gavin Radford. Gav.
Morning, Butch. Good to be here again.
Big weekend for us this week.
Yeah, big game this weekend. I think all the supporters will be out in their colours.
Yeah.
So, yeah, looking forward to a good game.
Yeah, last couple of weeks, a lot of Liverpool mates, a lot of guys I didn't know supported football are now Liverpool supporters. So
Yeah, but I'm seeing a lot of Liverpool supporters very nervy, thinking this could change their season. I don't know why. I mean, Liverpool have won like 25 or 30 games in a row.
Yeah.
Why a United game would really trouble their season? I mean, even if they lost to United, they could still go on and win the league comfortably.
Yeah, I think they're all sitting on the fence.
Yeah, 100%.
Talking to United last night, FA Cup, 1-0 over Wolves.
Yeah, I think it was a good game. I think both managers did well by putting out strong teams. And that was the main thing for me.
Yeah.
I didn't want to see all the youngsters playing in a big game like that. So it was good to see that all the top players were playing. Good result for United. I know it was a two-legged affair. But we got the results about going through to the next round now. I think United will play a full team right through.
Yeah, I think we can't win the league. I've got my doubts about finishing the top four. I think it's going to be a tough task. So why not win the FA Cup? I followed them in 2007 when United got to the FA Cup final, and the fans love a Wembley day.
Yeah, everybody wants a day out. Everybody wants to get out there, put the colours on and get out there. It's one of the last games of the season too, so that's why everybody's out there. And you want to see the best teams in a final. You don't want repeats of last year where I think Man City won 5-0 against Watford. You want to have a competitive game. I think that's what it's about.
Yeah, I agree. We now cross over to our UK correspondent, Stevie Brahm, is in our London studio. Good morning, Steve. How are you going?
I'm all right. Good morning, guys.
Morning, Steve.
All right. Congratulations on your winning pick last week. I don't know if you watched the game, Lazio. They should never have won. Napoli outplayed them in the second half, but money's in the bank, Steve, and that's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about. But, you know, they were decent odds. And,
correct.
You know, so it was a good pick, I think, for both of us.
Yep, you're right. Steve, FA Cup Tuesday, Wednesday. Tottenham a little bit fortunate at the end, I thought. 2 early goals, beating a Middlesbrough side who gave it their all.
They did. I mean, you know, the first 15 minutes, you thought, well, this is going to be a bit of a rout. I mean, Middlesbrough sort of looked all over the place, and Tottenham were cutting them to shreds. But, you know, they just take their chances. And I think, you know, history tells us with games, if you don't finish teams off, and Middlesbrough's second half particularly, I thought they played very well, showed a lot of spirit. You know, Jonathan Woodgate has certainly got the team gelling with a bit of experience, a lot of good young players. And in the end, you know, I don't know if they weren't hanging on Tottenham, but I think at 2-1, the fans for the last few minutes were probably thinking, you know, the last thing they wanted would be extra time.
Yeah, so, well, a good result, I suppose, for Tottenham because it goes through, and also for Middlesbrough because they want to try and get up the league and trying to get into a promotion place.
Yeah, I mean, they're obviously quite a bit away. I mean, obviously they're now pulling away from the sort of 4 wins and a draw in the last 5 league games, pulling themselves away from the bottom. And they travel to Fulham on Friday night. So, you know, I think that's going to be a pretty tight game. We'll cover that one later. But I think Jonathan Woodgate came in for a lot of criticism, and a lot of people were calling for his head. But, you know, I think the way they sort of played on Tuesday night, in the second half, you know, as I said, they did the championship credit.
Yeah, you're right. Last night, United Wolves, I know we sent emails last night. Both played strong teams. United, other than Rashford, had their best team out.
Yeah, and Wolves did pretty much, apart from Rui Patricio in goals. So I think it's good that they both. I think because, you know, they're both strong teams. If one would have played a weakened team, it could have been very one-sided. And I think it's good for the competition. And Wolves certainly. I mean, Nuno has done this in every match he's played. I think last night was their 38th game or something crazy. And he's pretty much put out a strong team in every game he's played where he can. So, you know, full credit to them. Although that could, you know, that might bite them a little bit later in the season because, you know, they're danger they could run out of steam. But United were worthy winners in the end, and it was a good goal by Mata. So he took it very well.
Yeah, he did. I thought he was offside. I didn't realise he was that quick. But I don't know what the defender was trying to do, trying to play offside. But anyway, what can you do? United through.
Well, you know, I think again for both of them, they didn't want extra time or penalties. You know, they've gone through. You know, and it's, as you say, Wolves have got still in Europe. They could concentrate on that and you know, see if they can get close to the top 6 place again. And you know, United, I think United fans would be very happy with the cup run. Obviously, they're, you know, struggling to make the top 4 at the moment. They're not far away, but you know, I think United sort of cup pedigree is such that that fans demand they put out a strong team in the FA Cup.
Yeah, speaking to 60-odd thousand fans at Old Trafford, why play a bunch of kids, even though most of our kids are playing anyway? Steve, on to the transfer situation. What is going on? I know Spurs signed the young Fernandes. What is going on with Eriksen?
Well, rumour has it that Inter Milan have agreed personal terms with him, and he's keen to go, but they won't meet Tottenham's valuation at this moment in time. They've offered close to €10 million, and Tottenham want more. Obviously, Tottenham, as we know, will always play hardball in the transfer market. They know that they're going to lose him for nothing in the summer, so I suspect a deal will be done. He wants to go. Mourinho's made comments about him. They said that representatives from Inter have been in London because they're trying to sign Giroud as well. Okay. I think that will happen. I can't see the point of Tottenham trying to hold on for a few extra euro if his heart's really not in it. So that could be one that could happen. And
the Bruno Fernandes situation, Sporting and United, that's going on and on. What's the latest there?
It seems to drag on again. I mean, there's no question. I think United are in the market to bring one or two in, and we think they need to. I think that could still well happen. There's been very little activity so far. We're halfway through. We know in those last few days it all starts to ramp up. But I think I would be very surprised if United don't do some business, and that's at the forefront.
Yeah, I agree. Steve, on to the Premiership, the big game of the weekend. People may laugh what I say here. To me, it's Norwich City against Bournemouth. It's worth a lot of money. They're both in serious trouble of going down. How do you see that one going?
Yeah, well, I think this is, I think for Norwich, the next 3 of their next 4 games against teams around them at the bottom. Yeah. And I think this is almost getting into sort of last chance saloon for them because, they're 8 points adrift at the bottom. Bournemouth are having, if they can't beat Bournemouth, who are probably the most sort of out of form side, then I think that could be curtains for them. If you look at their results, Norwich, they take the lead in a lot of these games at home, but they just can't finish teams off. Bournemouth are just having a terrible run, and I think it's Eddie has to show a lot of his character to get his players up because they were very poor against Watford. I thought Watford played well, but they were very poor. So I think if Norwich don't win this, I think that's it for them. I think they'll throw everything at it. They brought in a couple of players from Germany, one on loan, Duda, and one Rupp, who they signed, both in the midfield. So obviously Daniel Farr, I think that's an area they need to strengthen. I think this will be a tight game. I don't think there'll be much in it, but I wouldn't be surprised Norwich might just edge it, or if Bournemouth put up a fight and get a draw. If Bournemouth were to win that, then I think that is it for Norwich. But Bournemouth can't afford to lose it.
Yeah. Talking to teams that are fighting Watford, been really impressed with them lately. Can you see them upsetting Spurs?
Well, I think it's. I wouldn't be at all surprised. I think they are capable of doing it. They Nigel Pearson has really got them. They're showing a lot more physicality. They completely overpowered Bournemouth last week, and having won sort of the last 3 home games as well. I think they're going to give Tottenham a tough game. I think Tottenham have got to be up for this. Watford are going to be in their faces from the word go. I think this will be a very tight game. I can't see Tottenham winning it somehow. With the injuries and without Kane, I think wouldn't be surprised. It could be a home win, but it's possible Tottenham could hold them for a draw. But I can't see Watford losing this one.
Okay, now Arsenal at home, they seem to show a little bit more like resolve under Arteta. Can you see them beating Sheffield United?
Yeah, I think so. And I think if they can play the way they did in their home game against United, particularly that first half, I think they probably will have a bit too much. I think Sheffield have done incredibly well. I mean, obviously the last couple of tough away games at City and Liverpool, which they were second best. They played well in patches against West Ham, but I still think that they're going to find the second half of the season a lot harder. I wouldn't be surprised if Arsenal just edged that.
Okay, now the David Moyes derby, West Ham Everton. Can he get out of it?
I think he can. He's got some tough games coming up after this. They've got, I think United. They've got Liverpool a couple of times because they've got a rearranged game. So this is a game I think West Ham are going to have to target to get something out of because, again, losing that game and having that disallowed goal last Friday.
Yeah,
they are, very close that bottom three. And I think if they don't get anything from this game, and they probably won't in the next 2 or 3 after that, they could find themselves in the bottom three. So I think David Moyes knows what Everton's about. It'll be interesting to see what sort of Everton we see, because they had a bit of a reaction last week after that poor performance at Liverpool. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's a draw there.
Okay. And the other big game, obviously to the worldwide audience, Liverpool at Man United. Can you see an upset?
I can't. If Rashford is out injured, I can't see an upset. I think Liverpool is just going to be too strong. Although, having said that, United are the only team to take a point off them this season, and have a good record historically at Anfield. But I just think Liverpool are going to be too strong. They've not been. Their key players haven't had to play too many games in the last 10 days or so. So they're going to be pretty fresh. They played very well. Had a good win at Tottenham, as we know. I think Liverpool will win that by a couple of goals.
Okay, couple of goals. Okay, that'll keep the masses in Durban.
I'm afraid so.
All right, fair enough, Steve. Steve, on to the championship. We're talking about your beloved Fulham. Tough game expected against Middlesbrough?
Yeah, I think it would be. I mean, a month or so ago, we'd have looked at that and thought, well, that's nailed on 3 points. But two things. One is that Borough are certainly playing a lot more confidence, unbeaten in 5 league games, won 4, drawn 1, played well against Tottenham in the 2 games, and Fulham are now without Alexander Mitrovic for a few weeks. It was announced yesterday that he hasn't damaged them, but he's just slightly strained his ankle ligaments, so they're saying 2 to 3 weeks, but that could always be 3 to 4. So crucial time for us to lose Mitrovic. But I think we're not a one-man team. We've got to find a way to win without him.
Yeah.
I think we will, but I think it will be a close game.
Okay. Now, one team that's definitely gone off the boil is Leeds United. I couldn't believe they got beat by Sheffield Wednesday. I watched QPR Brentford. If ever there's a game to rebound, it's surely got to be at Loftus Road.
You would think so, but it's very interesting. They don't have a great record at QPR, and in fact, there's something about they don't have a good record in London. Having lost to Charlton, having lost at Millwall, having lost at Fulham. You're right. They've won 1 in 7 leads. Yet they find themselves still obviously in the top 2. The teams behind them, like Brentford, Fulham, are thinking, well, we might catch them, but. I'd be surprised if they didn't get 3 points leads, but they're short up front. Patrick Bamford talking to a Leeds fan last week, and the jury's out. They're not overly keen on him yet. Bielsa seems to like him as his target man. So we'll see. QPR are a funny side. I mean, they were poor last week, yet the 2 matches before, they scored 11 goals in their 2 home games. Yeah. So I expect there to be goals, and it is the sort of game could go either way.
Well, for your sake, let's hope so. Bristol City, they won last week at Wigan against a Barnsley team that have done well under Struber. How do you see that one?
Barnsley really, I mean, again, half a dozen, sort of 6-8 games ago, you were thinking that Barnsley are nailed on to go down, and they've pulled themselves off the bottom and playing very well. Bristol, I think, will still be too strong. I mean, they still, have aspirations of a top 6 place themselves. I don't think there'll be that many goals in it, but I think Bristol might just edge that.
Okay, now Wayne Rooney's obviously turned it on for the last 3 games for Derby, where they won 2 and drawn 1. Can they continue the run against Hull City?
I think they can. I think we shouldn't underestimate the Rooney factor. It's as well as that, they had a good win in the cup as well. So in the 4 games that he's sort of been involved, they've won 3 and drawn 1. Yeah. Hull very inconsistent. I mean, they lost at home to Fulham last week. You're not quite sure what's going to happen. There's still sort of rumours that 1 or 2 Premiership clubs are circling around Jarrod Bowen, whether or not that that interferes with him. Sometimes players, when they know that there's the possibility of going. So I wouldn't be surprised if Derby edge that one. I think it'll be close, but I think Derby could just win it.
Okay, now 2 informed sides meet. Millwall versus Reading. Close game?
It will be a close game. I think I saw Reading recently. They defended very well. They've got a good record. And Millwall, incredible run at the moment. I mean, a very hard team to beat, and particularly at the Den. I could see this being a very close game. I don't think there'll be more than a goal in it. Wouldn't be surprised if Millwall could edge that, or certainly Reading could hold them.
Okay, and last but not least, Huddersfield at home to a Brentford team I was really impressed with last week. Brentford continue their run?
Well, I mean, on paper, you would think Brentford would go there and win. I mean, Huddersfield have been very, very inconsistent. Yeah. You know, the Cowleys went there and turned it around a little bit, but they're not having a great run at the moment. Brentford, on the other hand, are, and they're probably the most informed team, you know, in the top 10 certainly, and find themselves into the third place. So I'd be surprised if Huddersfield hold them.
All right, Steve. Now the pressure part of the show. Your best bet, so hope your run continues, and your best value bet. Who are you going for?
I think for my best bet, I'm going to go for Swansea. I think that they just start to show a bit of form, and they have brought in 3 players on loan in this last week or so. They brought in Rhian Brewster from Liverpool, who I think add something, and just in the last couple of days they brought in Conor Gallagher, Chelsea young, very good Chelsea player who's been on loan at Charlton. And Chelsea feel that he can maybe get a little bit more experience and sent him out to Swansea, as they did with Tammy Abraham. And I think those 2 players are only going to improve Swansea's position. And I think you know, whereas I thought they were dropping away, I think they're going to be serious challengers for a top 6 place. So, and they're playing against a Wigan side who we know are pretty poor on the road and pretty poor generally.
Okay, and your best value bet?
Well, I'm going to go to La Liga. I'm going to go for Getafe. I was surprised that they're as much as 2-1. I mean, they're playing that, you know, that they've had a good run, won the last few, sitting 7th in La Liga, going to Lejeune, who won struggling. They've had a bit of a, you know, they picked up a bit, but I think, you know, I think that's an opportunity for Getafe to cement their sort of position and get close to Europa place. I was thinking of maybe going for Palace at 22-1.
Well, they won last year at Man City, didn't they?
Well, they won there last year, you know, against a City team that were rampant and went there and won. So, you know, in a 2-horse race, 22-1 is pretty impressive. But the bookies obviously know something that we don't. And you'd be surprised at anything other than a City win. But it's quite amusing to see odds like that.
Yeah, you're right. Bookmakers, obviously, there'll be the occasional guy will have a lazy pound or 2, but I doubt anybody will. I actually had a look at that market quite in depth, because I think there'll be plenty of goals as normal with Man City, and the bookmakers have just sliced every bit of odds. It's there's nothing. Well, you can't blame them really, especially after last week's demolition.
No, but it's absolutely. But as you say, Palace are better on the road. But you know, you can't believe that you know, lightning will strike twice and they'll go there and win again. I think City will, you know, will probably want to make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah, I think it will. Steve, thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Keep well, and we'll speak next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Bye.
All the best, Steve. Cheers. Keep well.
Bye.
All right, Gav. Premiership kick off with Watford against Tottenham. How do you see that?
Well, the big factor for me is Troy Deeney's back in form.
Yeah,
when Troy Deeney plays, he gets the Watford boys up for the game. And as you saw last week, I mean, he's a real handful to control up front. The Spurs, on the other hand, I mean, they've got good players. I mean, Mourinho's there. He knows it's a tough game. I would be leaning towards Watford in the draw here. I think they really get something out of this game.
Yes, I agree as well, especially you have a look at the wingers. You know, that winger come from Barcelona and saw on the right-hand side. You look at Spurs' weakness, it's the 2 fullbacks. Troy Deeney up front, and they beat them 2-1 last year. I can see an upset, 22-10, and Watford are fighting for their lives. So I agree, I don't see Watford winning. Now, Arsenal against Sheffield United. Sheffield United were unbeaten for 9 away games. They lost their last 2, but that was at Liverpool and at Man City. Facing an Arsenal team...
Arsenal in and out at the moment. I think they lost 7 games. They've won 1, lost 3, drawn 3. So their form hasn't been great.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing that their whole back four is under pressure and they've got some injuries. So I'm leaning towards a draw in this game. I don't see Arsenal winning and winning comfortably. I'm going to go against Steve here. I might be leaning towards Sheffield United in the draw, just that these guys are really playing well.
Yeah, a few defensive injuries, so it's rumoured for Arsenal. Now, crucial game at the bottom, Brighton, Aston Villa.
Yeah, both teams that can't keep a clean sheet. I'm sure with the best bet will both teams to score.
Yeah.
I'm leaning towards Brighton being the home team. I think they're playing quite well at home. Aston Villa team, really in and out type of side.
Yep.
But I'm going to go with Brighton.
Yeah, disappointed in Villa last week. They just capitulated. That was because they played in the League Cup on Wednesday against Leicester. I like Brighton. I like what Graham Potter's done. I wouldn't be taking 7 or 10. I agree with the goals, but Brighton are the two teams. Now, Man City, Crystal Palace, 1 to 10. I think the bookmakers have priced them at the market. Crystal Palace got a lot of injuries, suspensions coming up. I know they upset them last year, but there were 2 wonder goals. Can they upset them again?
No, not in my lifetime. I think Man City, good bet. Just one name that rings out is Kevin De Bruyne, best player in the league. He just orchestrates everything for City. I think they're way, way too strong for Palace. But then again, Palace, tough team to break down. You've got to get at them early because they give you nothing. You've got to work for the victory. But I think Man City are far too strong for them.
Yeah, I agree. Crucial game at the bottom, Norwich City against Bournemouth. Gav?
Yeah, their last 8 games, they've drawn 3, lost 5, compared to Bournemouth who won 1, lost 5.
Yeah.
Bournemouth, for me, are really struggling the last couple of weeks watching them play. I think they've got so many injuries. I think it's about 9 players out. To a Norwich team, like Steve says, they've also got the injury problems, but they've brought in a few players to help them out.
Yeah.
I could lean towards the home team winning this, but 2 teams that are really struggling.
Yeah, I like Bournemouth. I think 23 to 10 is a great price. They have lost 9 of the last 11, but Nathan Ake came back. He's a little bit greasy. I think they forced the issue by playing him last week. And Watford are in form. I like 23 to 10 Bournemouth. I think they've got better attacking players and better defensive players. Norwich do score, but they were disgraceful against Man United last week. They got beat 4-1. The moment the first goal went in, their heads dropped. 23 to 10, win and draw Bournemouth for me there, but you know, I hope Norwich because I like Daniel Farke, but I just don't see them winning. On to the second page, we've got Southampton against Wolves. Now, Danny Ings has scored 9 goals in his last 11 league games. Wolves played their best team last night.
Yeah, short turnaround for Wolves, but like you say, Danny Ings scoring lots of goals. There's 12th versus 7th in the log. The last 5 games, they've won 3, drew 1, lost 1, Southampton. Like I keep saying, they're a good ball-playing team. They love to pass the ball around. I think the coach has really got the players believing that they can get away from that relegation zone now. And I'm leaning towards Southampton to win this. It's been a home game for them. Wolves struggling a little bit, playing during midweek. I think Southampton can get a result.
The thing is, Wolves tend to start slowly, and as the game goes on, they've got like really counter-attacking players. And also, you know, Southampton play 2 up front, but Wolves don't push out. So I think this has got 1-1 written all over it. Now, West Ham against Everton. We mentioned earlier to Steve the David Moyes derby. I saw a lot of improvement. You know, they beat Bournemouth 4-0. Even when they lost to Sheffield United, it was a goalkeeper that made the error. Everton, I just don't know. I know Ancelotti's having a go, and they may have slightly better strikers. I can't have Everton.
I can't have either of them. I think the draw is the big player, 24 to 10. I think both teams are struggling. I think maybe this could be a 0-0 game. If we can get a 0-0 or 7-8 to 1, I think that could be a good value. But I don't fancy any of these teams. I'm leaning towards a draw quite strong, yeah.
Okay, now one team that's got plenty of injuries is Newcastle United against a Chelsea team who got better results away from home. Taking a 5 to 10?
Yeah, 5 to 10, best bet of the weekend for me.
Okay.
Chelsea with their youngsters, I think they've got some really good youngsters in their team. I think their last 4 games they've won 2, drawn 1, and lost 1.
Yeah.
So I'm leaning towards Chelsea. They're scoring Newcastle too many injuries. I think Steve Bruce is doing a good job there, but I think they're going to go into a bit of free fall from now.
Yeah, Steve Bruce definitely try and park the bus, get another point, but it should be Chelsea all day. Now, one team, Turf Moor, is always a nightmare to go to. You ask any of the opposing fans, not a nice stadium, but lately Burnley have been terrible. They've lost 5 of the last 7. I thought they were unlucky against Chelsea. They should have scored first. A goal got disallowed. Leicester, I think Leicester got the best away record in the league by Liverpool. 9 to 10.
They've won 6 and lost 1. So you would, they're 3rd in the league versus 15th in the league. You would think this is an absolute sitter at 9 to 10. It's very easy to go and get a 9 to 10 with these guys. But a tough game for Leicester. I think Burnley will get their set pieces. Yeah. I think that's where they score their goals. They will drop it in the box and see who comes for it. If the ball bounces loose, they've got those 2 big boys up front. Could give them a few problems, but you would think Leicester at 9 to 10 is good value.
Yeah, I think there'll be goals in there as well. Big game, Gav. Liverpool, Man United. Can you see an upset?
Well, last time I said it shouldn't be a contest where Liverpool's been playing. But every time they play us, they seem to run into a few problems. I don't know what, it's just a big occasion.
Yeah.
But yeah, Liverpool at 25 games unbeaten. I think they should be too strong for us at their patch. Yeah. We've got a couple of defensive issues that we need to sort out. But Liverpool will be hard to contain them. I think Liverpool could be a good bet.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but it's Liverpool all day. On to the Championship, where I'll run through it quickly. I agree with Steve with Fulham to beat Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough played their best team against Tottenham on Tuesday. Not easy to play 2 hard games in 3 days. 9-10 Fulham, it'll be on the Friday night, and that should keep them in the promotion contention. Second game, QPR against Leeds. I watched QPR last week. It was Sunday League defending. They were 3-0 down at home at Brentford at half-time. They should have been behind by 6. Second half, they improved. Now, I don't know what's gone wrong with Leeds. As Steve said, they've got forward issues. But if Leeds can't beat QPR away from home, their automatic promotion hopes are in total disarray. Over 2.5 goals is 6.5 to 10. That's the right play in the game for me. Birmingham struggling at home against Cardiff City, are struggling on the road. They're both 1-7. Birmingham, for me, I've watched them play at St Andrews. They have a full go. While I wouldn't be taking 4-10, if I had to go for one of the 2 teams, it would definitely be Birmingham. Bristol City, a Jekyll and Hyde team. They won at Wigan last week, but they'd lost 5 of their previous 6 against a Barnsley team who are fighting for their life. Bristol City in the draw for me in that particular game. Our second page, we've got Wayne Rooney's derby, and I fancied them at 16-10. I watched them win in the FA Cup against Crystal Palace, and they deserve to win. Hull City are a Jekyll and Hyde team. On their day, they beat Fulham at Fulham. Great team away from home on their day, but I just don't see it. Derby on the way, 16-10. Wayne Rooney factor at its best. Huddersfield versus Brentford. The last month, Brentford are the best team I've watched in the championship. They're outstanding at home on Saturday. Their front 3 are in form, and I think 8-10 is a good bet against the Huddersfield team, who are slowly but surely starting to lose their poise, and they're in the relegation battle for me. Millwall Reading. I fancy Millwall of the 2 teams. Gary Wright's done a great job. At the Den, they're always hard to beat, and I think they'll beat Reading, even though Reading are unbeaten in the last 7. My beloved Preston North End was struggling, but if we can't beat a Charlton Athletic team who have won 1 out of their last 15 league games, then any hopes we have of promotion is definitely good, especially a playoff spot. Our form's always been decent at Deepdale. 6-10 to me looks a good bet. Our last page in the championship, Sheffield Wednesday caused the upset of the round last week when they went to Leeds United and won 2-0. Facing a Blackburn Rovers team whose the centre forward Bradley Dack is still injured. 8-10 should be a good bet, but Sheffield Wednesday, another Jekyll and Hyde team, should win, but they're not for me at that price. Swansea, I agree with Steve. They've come right. They're unbeaten. They've lost 1 of the last 7. The last 4 at home, they've won 2 and lost 2. And drawn 2. And facing a Wigan team that have won 1 of the last 15 league games, they should be absolute certainties at 9-10. And so should Notts Forest be. Luton Town are terrible. They've lost their last 9 away from home. Notts Forest, slowly but surely, they're getting back. If they win their game in hand, they go 3rd. They've won the last couple of home games, and 6-10 to me looks an absolute steal. Finally, we end on Monday night, where West Bromwich Albion are slowly but surely giving away their advantage. They've won 1 of the last 7 league games, and only 1 of the last 4 at home have they won. And facing a Stoke City team who've got Ryan Shawcross back, their captain and backbone. Their last game away from home, they beat Huddersfield 5-2. I think that's got upset written all over it. We now go on to the PSL, where last night there were 2 really important games. Orlando Pirates beat Sundowns 1-0, and Bidvest Wits beat Bloemfontein Celtic 3-2.
Yeah, I was jumping between the 2 games last night. Some good goals were scored. Some good soccer amongst those top teams of ours in South Africa. Very damaging result for Sundowns, I thought. I know they've got some games in hand, but as they always say, rather have the points. So they're all chasing Chiefs at the moment. They're about 9 points behind. So it's all to play for. Do you have the points or do you have the games in hand? Yeah, so it's getting quite tight now.
Yeah. And I was impressed with Pirates. Sundowns never turned up. I expect a backlash against Supersport this Sunday. And as for Bidvest Wits, I don't know what makes Gavin happy. You know, they're 1-0 up and he's complaining. They're 2-1 down, he's complaining. 3-2. I think he's a heart attack waiting to happen, Gavin.
Gavin is, I don't know if he's under pressure half the time.
I
don't know if he's not enjoying his football. He's just sitting on edge all the time. But yeah, he's got a good Wits team. I just needs to get consistency in his team, and they'll be challenging. I mean,
well, they're 11 points behind Chiefs with 3 games in hand.
Yeah, all the chasers have games in hand, so that's the secret. But like I say, Chiefs have got the points. Do you want the points or do you want the games in hand? So it's always tough, especially when you're competing in Africa as well.
Yeah.
So it's
tough.
The
league's not over to all you Amakosi fans. You do have Bidvest to play twice.
Yeah, that's the secret with Chiefs. I said 2 weeks ago that they'll come under a bit of pressure. They lost to Super Sports with a game they should have won.
Yeah.
And then they bounced back with 2 good results. So they're scoring goals, Chiefs, and that's the main thing.
Yeah.
Supporters are happy. Their crowds are coming back. It's theirs to lose, I think.
Yeah, it sure looks like it. Anyway, on to the PSL for the weekend. We kick off for the KZN Derby on Friday at Harry Gwala Stadium. 9-10 Maritzburg.
Yeah, I think this is a good bet. I know it's a local derby with the teams. Amazulu woeful on the weekend.
We're terrible.
They were
game.
down.
Super Sports like winning,
put them to the sword the first half, and they just never seem to bounce back. I can see Maritzburg winning this game quite comfortably, actually.
So do I. They don't get beat in Maritzburg, but Amazulu got a better away record recently than at home. They just don't score many goals, though, and that's going to be a problem. Now, one team that I just can't catch, Steve Barker Stellenbosch, got beat 2-1 at home by Celtic, and then they won 4-1 away.
Yeah, they're a difficult team to play against. The teams that get promoted, they try and find their feet early and have a lot of effort into their games. Then they peter out and they come back trying to fight survival. Yeah. But I can see them winning. I can see them beating Baraka. I know I went for Baraka last week. I thought they had a great chance to win, even they hadn't won for about 8 or 9 weeks. But I think Stellenbosch at home will be too strong for them. Yeah,
strangely, Stellenbosch lost their last 3 at home. I couldn't believe that. But Baraka, I had a bet. I actually went both teams to score in the derby. Polokwane never looked like getting back into it. I agree. I think this has got a draw written all over it for me. Now, Black Leopards against Kaizer Chiefs. That's your mate, the Black Leopards.
Yeah, he's at Polokwane.
Oh, sorry,
he's at Polokwane. Yeah, but Chiefs at 1-4. I think they'll be too strong. I think they'll score too many goals against Leopards. Leopards will be up against. It should be a nice crowd. Yeah. Like I say, Chiefs got the followers behind them again, so I think Chiefs will win comfortably.
Yeah, it's Kevin Johnson, my mistake. He's at Black Leopards. Now, Cape Town City against Wits. I watched Cape Town City last week against Chiefs. They were terrible.
Yeah, they were woeful last week. Didn't pitch up. Pirates scored early, or they scored early against them, Chiefs, and they just never got into the game. I can see Wits going there and winning.
Yeah, anything, just get concerned. You play Wednesday, Saturday, turnaround time, but I agree, 9-10 looks a good thing. On to our second page, Orlando Pirates Highlands. The only thing that can stop Pirates is overconfidence after they performed last night.
Yeah, Owen de Garvin's team also, he admitted as well, have just gone off the boil a little bit. Yeah. I mean, they got a real good hiding in the last 2 weeks.
Stellenbosch beat them 4-1 at home.
I can't see them bouncing back against the rampant Pirates team at the moment. Yeah. So the new guy up front, I think they bought him for one of the teams. He's scoring for Pirates. Yeah. Chases everything. So, defenders don't want to be chased all around the park. And chasing this guy, he's really playing some good soccer for Pirates. I think Pirates are a good bet.
Yeah, and the new coach, Joe Zinba, has got them organised too at the back. I was really impressed with what I saw with Pirates last night.
The passion is back in the Pirates team. You can see that the passion is back.
Yeah. So I think they win the Nedbank Cup. Now, Bloemfontein Celtic, they gave Wits, so they shouldn't have got beat last night. Just watch the highlights. At home against Chipper?
Yeah, I was jumping between the 2 games. Celtic played really well. I think they've also got a newfound energy. I think they'll win quite comfortably in Bloem. I think Chipper again, they have to make up the numbers there.
Okay, now if ever statistics come into it, Polokwane, your ex-mate, they've lost 11 of the last 12 against a Golden Arrows team who are inconsistent, but...
Yeah, a team that's in free fall is Polokwane. I mean, Clinton's really got a big job to try and turn these guys around. And the Golden Arrows team from Steve, he gets his players going. I think the Golden Arrows at 14-10 being a great bet here. I think Golden Arrows definitely come away with something here.
Yeah, I don't see them getting beat. Now, the last game is a big game, SuperSport United against Sundowns.
Yeah, SuperSport have done well. They've won their couple of games now, and some of those games they've given the teams chances to score, and they just haven't taken them. So they're plodding along nicely, but I think Sundowns will bounce back. Yeah. Big game. It's, Sundowns for me, I think we'll just edge it.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's Sundowns all day. We now go on to our exotics. Saturday exotics. The first one's the Soccer 6. I've banked Chiefs to beat Black Leopards. I've gone Arsenal, win and draw at home against Sheffield United. I've gone Real Madrid, win and draw at home against Sevilla, purely because I think Bidvest Wits will have too much quality for Cape Town City. And ended up looking for upsets in the Orlando Pirates Highlands Park and Newcastle United versus Chelsea fixtures. That's 2-1-6. Our second Soccer 6 is a Premiership one. I've gone Arsenal, win and draw at home against Sheffield United. I fancy Brighton to beat Aston Villa. Man City should be certainties against Crystal Palace. I don't see Bournemouth losing at Norwich City. and I'm taking a chance as well. I think Southampton versus Wolves and West Ham against Everton, all three results are possible. 216 that particular perm. On to our soccer 10. I've banked Kaizer Chiefs to beat Black Leopards. I've gone Arsenal, win and draw at home against Sheffield United. I've banked Real Madrid to beat Sevilla. I've gone Brighton and Hove Albion. I've thrown the draw in against Aston Villa. I've banked Man City to beat Crystal Palace. Onto the second page, I've gone Bournemouth, win and draw at Norwich City. I've gone the field in the West Ham Everton game. I've banked Bidvest Wits to beat Cape Town City. I've gone Orlando Pirates, looking for the upset, the field against Highlands Park. And I don't see Chelsea, win or draw, losing at Newcastle United, 288. On to our soccer 13, I've gone Arsenal, win and draw at home against Sheffield United. I've banked Man City to beat Crystal Palace. I've gone Chelsea, win and draw at Newcastle. I don't see West Ham United getting beat at home against Everton. I'm siding with Wolves to avoid defeat at Southampton. I've gone Brighton, win and draw at home against Aston Villa. I've gone Bournemouth, win and draw at Norwich City. On to the second page, I've gone Birmingham City, win and draw at home against Cardiff. And banked Derby to beat Hull, Brentford to beat Huddersfield. I've gone Millwall, win and draw at home against Reading, and ended up with two bankers, Preston North End to beat Charlton Athletic, and Sheffield Wednesday to beat Blackburn Rovers. It's 435. On to our bets for the weekend. I've gone Bournemouth to beat Norwich. I've gone Watford to win or draw against Tottenham Hotspurs. I've gone over 2.5 goals in the Arsenal versus Sheffield United match. And I think 11 at 10, Riyad Mahrez to score any time against Crystal Palace is a good bet in that game. Just under 20 to 1, 3,900, 200 was our bet. On to the championship. I've gone Brentford to beat Huddersfield. I've gone Derby County to beat Hull City. I think Swansea City will be too good at home for Wigan. And I've ended up with Notts Forest to beat Luton Town and over 1.5 total goals, 2,900 to 200. Our PSL quad, I've gone Bidvest Wits to beat Cape Town City. I've gone Mamelodi Sundowns to beat SuperSport United. And I'm going for over 2.5 goals in the Orlando Pirates Highlands Park and Black Leopards Kaizer Chiefs fixture, 2,500 to 200. Our English both teams to score sides are Brighton Aston Villa, Burnley Leicester, Southampton Wolves, Birmingham Cardiff City, and West Brom Stoke City, 2,900 to 200. On to Spain, where we have our quartet. I've gone Levante to beat Alaves. I've gone Valencia to win at Mallorca. I've gone Athletic Bilbao to beat Celta Vigo and over 1.5 total goals. And I've gone over 2.5 goals in the Barcelona versus Granada clash, 2,700 to 200. On to our Collis King 6 or Nixa. Sadly, I've got to start with Liverpool to beat Man United. Then I think Brentford will be too good for Huddersfield. Notts Forest should beat Luton Town. I fancy Mamelodi Sundowns to beat SuperSport United and ended up in Italy, where AC Milan should be too good for Udinese and Atalanta should beat Spal. Gav, who are your fancies for the weekend?
Yeah, my best bet for the weekend is definitely Chelsea. I think Chelsea, good value at 5 to 10. Followed by Marisburg United and Golden Arrows. And in the championship, Swansea. I think Steve's also agreed Swansea a good bet this weekend.
My best bet is in Spain. I'm going for Athletic Bilbao to beat Celta Vigo at home. Hard to beat third best defensive record in Spain against the Celta Vigo team, who have lost 6 of the last 7 away from home and are struggling. I contemplated my best bet would be, best each way value bet would be Bournemouth at Norwich City, but I'm going to go for 16 at 10 Derby County. I think they'll beat Hull City. Wayne Rooney's in fine form, so 16 to 10 is my play for the best value. Thank you very much for watching, and please remember, stay on side.